We leave the Swedish territory that we now had with both Erika and Angelica, and about their perspective from the competitive environment now with the SDHL. And we're gonna locate ourselves across the classic pond, and we're really, really excited from the IIHF side and our Skills4All structure that we have the possibility to invite Lisa Hayley here, that works with the PHF and is the Senior Vice President of Hockey Operation of the league. And it is going to be really, really interesting to get a little bit of your input, Lisa, and I see you here on our screen as well, on the work that you do in your league and in your everyday life of really working with top elite women's hockey in the PHF. So welcome to IIHF Skills4All.
Thanks very much. Really excited to be here and to be able to talk women's hockey. It's always a topic that's near and dear to my heart for sure. And we're very excited with the growth of our league, the Premier Hockey Federation, and I'm excited to share some of that growth with this group today. So if I'm able to just take it away, I'll share my screen and get started.
Yep, go ahead, Lisa. Just share your screen and you're off.
Thank you. So I'm going to attempt to play a video here quickly as well. Hopefully it goes smoothly. If not, my apologies. But just want to share a quick 30-second video of what's happening in the Premier Hockey Federation.
Pass out in front, score! Big opportunity!
Starkangelo finishes!
Gasparic scores!
Just fantastic!
Okay, great. Thanks, everybody. Hopefully that came through fairly loud and clear. If not, I apologize, but we are very, very excited to be here today. I'm just going to share my presentation here as well. Okay, I think it's up and running. So welcome to the Premier Hockey Federation. We are a 7-team league, recently rebranded from the NWHL. We have teams located in Minnesota, Buffalo, Metropolitan, which is in the New Jersey area. We have the Boston Pride. We have our new franchise in Montreal, the Montreal Force. We also have teams in Connecticut and Toronto. And what I would like to share with this group is the key leaders within the PHF, starting first and foremost with our new commissioner, Regan Carey. Regan had fully planned to be here today to speak with our group. Unfortunately, some last-minute personal conflicts, so I'm here stepping up as the substitute. My role is in hockey operations. I've been a part of a lot of Team Canada events over the years. I'm also joined by Mel Davidson, I think a familiar name for many people that are in the IIHF women's hockey world, as well as Marissa Halligan, who is our lead of hockey operations. And then also Casey Bellamy, a former player with USA Hockey, and Brianna Decker as well. So this group of 6 women are the driving force around the hockey operations of the Premier Hockey Federation. We're pretty excited. We feel we bring a lot of experience to the table and are definitely very committed and dedicated to driving our league forward to hopefully make it what would be considered the best women's professional hockey environment around the world. Also, just want to talk about the growth of our league, in particular, the global representation that we have in our league now. We've got 10 different countries represented in our league. You can see the list here of the non-Canadian US players that are in the league right now. Multiple players from Finland, Czechia, Sweden, Austria, Hungary, Switzerland, Slovakia, and China. You can also see that some of these players that are written in the purple font, that's representing players that are currently on their national women's team programs who had just recently participated in the 2022 World Championships that were held. So again, very excited about the global growth of our game. We've had a major influx of international players into our league, and we're excited to see that growth continue. We play for the Isabel Cup, which is a very interesting and unique story. Here in North America, the NHL is the league that all of our male-born players want to compete for. And on the women's side, we're growing that nostalgia around the Isabel Cup. And interestingly enough, so the winners of our league are awarded the Isabel Cup, which is named after Lady Isabel Gawthorne Hardy. She was one of the first known women to play the game, and she's actually the daughter of Lord Stanley, which is where our Stanley Cup is named after. So as much as our league is new and front running, we also definitely have a lot of ties to some of the historical components of our game. Our league started in 2016. That was when the first Isabel Cup was awarded. At that point in time, the name of our league was the National Women's Hockey League. It was the first professional women's hockey league in the United States. We've gone through some transition, and we are now known as the Premier Hockey Federation. We've got teams, as I mentioned, in both the US and Canada to compete for our trophy. And you can see here on the screen the logo from last year's Isabel Cup tournament. It was held in Tampa Bay, Florida. The Boston Pride were our repeat champions for 2021. Also, just want to talk about what the expansion looks like in our league. We're pretty excited. Last season, we had 20 games per team in our league. We had 6 teams participating. So they had played the other 5 teams 4 times for a total of 60 games. Our league has expanded to include the Montreal Force. So now all teams are playing 24 regular season games per season for a total of 84 games in our league. Teams also do have an exhibition schedule that they build out themselves, and then also our playoff schedule. One of the things that's definitely exciting for us, we're in the 2nd year of a partnership with ESPN as our broadcast sponsor. We are partnered with them to broadcast all of our games and special events. All of our games are streamed live on ESPN Plus in the US, and as well on TSN Direct in Canada. So all of our North American viewers are able to tune in through those live streams. We also have some opportunities to stream worldwide. I think we've had some kinks in that so far, but we're definitely excited to share some of the great, exciting hockey that's happening in the PHF with the hockey community worldwide. As I had mentioned, ESPN Plus and TSN are our broadcast partners. All 80 games are streamed live on ESPN Plus in the US and TSN, so all but just a handful of games, and that's more due to just broadcast technicalities in the arenas. But also, we are very excited that our PHF All-Star Weekend, which is coming up in January, is broadcast live on ESPN and also TSN. So those will be linear broadcasts, as well as our PHF Isabel Cup playoffs will be showcased on ESPN too. So we're really excited to get in front of that live audience. That's definitely a critical opportunity for growth. Listening to Angelica and Erica speak earlier, there's no question that when people have the opportunity to watch women's hockey, they want to tune in and watch again. And we're always looking and exploring for opportunities to get our product in front of hockey fans. And these are definitely exciting opportunities to do so on live TV. Also, just want to spend some time discussing with this group what the development opportunity looks like for a player within our league. In terms of the training and resources that are provided out to our 7 teams, we've gathered this information from our teams, and this is basically a representation of what's on the average of what teams are providing to their players. And so typically 3 practices per week are held for each of the teams, which is the equivalent of about 4.5 hours of on-ice practice per week. And then in addition, we've got 4 of our teams adding optional practices. Those would be skill sessions and whatnot for those players that have the opportunity to have hockey as their main occupation, and they're able to dedicate some more time on the ice. Our goal is to provide them with all the opportunities that they need to do so. All of our teams have a head coach and at least one, if not two, assistant coaches. Every team also has a strength and conditioning coach to lead and develop the off-ice physical development of the players. All teams also have an equipment manager, an athletic trainer that is certified and licensed as an athletic trainer, and one team physician as well with each of our teams. And these physicians are at all of the home games. They're accessible to the players as needed in terms of any type of medical resources or treatment provision that the players need. And 5 of our 7 teams have a designated goalie coach that's out on the ice multiple times a week working with the goalies as well. Accompanied with that, the off-ice development, just as important as I had mentioned, every team does have a strength and conditioning coach that's designing the training programs and leading those sessions. And typically teams are having at least 1 and up to 3 off-ice training sessions per week in a facility where they're located in terms of their hockey rinks. Also, just want a big component of this, and I know that Erica had spoken about this as well, that all of our teams have a designated off-ice training facility for strength and conditioning that the players are easily able to access. Again, it's obviously very important to have quality facilities for our players to be training in, quality resources in terms of the coaching staff that are there to provide that, and then also the ease of use, so that all of our teams, the hockey rinks that their dressing rooms are located in, where they practice and play games in every week, in-house have those strength and conditioning facilities that the players need to continue to develop their game. Also just want to talk about some key development areas within our league as well. The first one is this year our league has transitioned over to the IIHF rules and rulebook. We, previous to this year, were following mainly the NCAA, which is the college loop in the US, but we've transitioned to IIHF rules. Again, our league continues to grow and more players from our national teams from across the globe are participating in our league, and we certainly want to be taking on our responsibility to develop those players accordingly, as well as the coaches and the officials that are in our league. So we're very, very excited that this year, for the first time, we have partnerships with both USA Hockey and Hockey Canada around the officials that are officiating our games. USA Hockey and Hockey Canada are able to take the lead on the officials that are being assigned to the PHF games. And those officials are the very same officials that are officiating at national championships, at world championships, and at the Olympic Games. So our league has become a key development opportunity for the very best officials in North America. And many of our officials as well, although they are females, they're working in our male leagues as well. We have a handful of female officials that are officiating in the American Hockey League, which is the farm team or the development system for the NHL. So very, very excited with the growth in that area in particular, but also the opportunity for the players in the PHF to be playing under the same environment that they would when they represent their national teams at IIHF events. So that's definitely one very exciting development that our league has gone through this past year. And the second one, probably even more important, is the development of our Players Safety Committee. And this group's objective is reviewing plays for potential supplemental discipline and serving as a resource for the PHF hockey operations group. We are very, very focused on making sure the very best players in the world are in our league and they're participating at a very high level, and also in a safe manner. We obviously want our very best players to be on the ice. So this Player Safety Committee is very focused on both educating and establishing a standard of play that is on par with what you would see at a world championship in the top division. So, basically a physical game that's also free of reckless and dangerous plays. So we've specifically targeted a Player Safety Committee that's been developed. This is a 7-member committee that are all experienced officials at the IIHF level that have officiated at multiple World and Olympic Games. This committee is co-chaired by Stacey Livingston and Jackie Palm, who are 2, I would say, legends in the officiating game on the women's side. So we're very excited for the leadership that they've brought to our league around this Player Safety Committee. And already I think we've made some tremendous strides in establishing the style of play and the standard that makes our hockey league very, very exciting to watch, very skilled to watch, and the very best players are able to play to their best potential and represent our league and continue to develop the game at its highest level. And that's about it. I do want to quickly highlight, if you were able to see it in the original video, our league is continuing to grow. This season, we had a $750,000 salary cap, of which all of our teams were almost to the limit, or at least 75% of that $750,000 salary cap had been allocated to players. And already that information is outdated. We are now at a $1.5 million salary cap for each of our 7 teams to spend and invest in their players and the development of our league. Our values are aligned with the SDHL, and listening to Angelica talk about female hockey players being able to make a living playing hockey. And our exciting announcement this morning does just that. With a $1.5 million salary cap, the average salary within our league will now jump up to between $60,000 and $70,000 per year, which I think there would be a lot of agreement that is definitely a livable wage here in North America, and we're excited to be able to provide that opportunity to players. And we are excited to partner with groups like the IIHF, Hockey Canada, USA Hockey, and all of the member national federations out there to provide an opportunity for the very best players in your federations to come to the PHF and have an opportunity to develop their game. And that's about it. I'll stop sharing my screen and welcome the conversation.
Thank you so much, Lisa. And I think all the audience know the drill by now. We have the Q&A function. Please use that if you have any questions that you would like to send along here. And Lisa, thank you so much for sharing your journey and the work with the PHF. I have a question jumping up already here from the start. Really interesting and exciting to see the build up on the staffing and the organization around the league. How important is for the PHF with the representation of female staff in various positions around the league, both in the league itself, but also transition to other positions and opportunities in federations or other leagues, regardless if it's male, female, to increase the interest and the possibilities for women's hockey?
Yes, absolutely, Joel. And I think, one of my initial slides that's presenting the leadership group that's within the front office of the PHF is a great example of that. I think that some of the most influential and experienced female leaders in women's hockey in North America, at least, are leading the march here with the Premier Hockey Federation. Our Commissioner, Reagan Carey, has clearly demonstrated her ability to grow the game for USA Hockey. I think that the work she did there was tremendous. I think you look at people like Mel Davidson and some of the former players that have played for their national teams that are working for the league specifically now is a great example of that leadership. And it does branch out into our teams as well. Multiple teams in our league have female head coaches, and all of our teams have female staff members to some degree and capacity, whether that be in the role of assistant coaches or other areas of the game, whether that be business operations and marketing. Our league is definitely very determined to be a breeding ground for opportunities for female leaders and looking for that development opportunity. So all aspects, when I look at our front office as well, and some of the recent additions include areas of marketing and social media content and whatnot, where it is females that are driving that ship for us as well. So opportunities for leadership for females in all areas of the game, both on and off the ice.
And when it comes to also that driving that development, we have a question from one in the audience about the coaches. You showed a lot about the opportunities for the players and the environment you tried to create for the players in that way. But bringing in coaches in your league and working with your clubs in that sense, do you have any education or development together between the clubs or with any of the federations when it comes to the player coaches side in that aspect?
Yes, absolutely. That's something that's it's on our radar screen, and we are looking to develop a series where we can be focused specifically on female coach development. This current season, we've had a lot of transition to new leadership, if you will, and so that specific component was less of a priority this year as we made our expansion. But we've had a lot of in-depth conversations around establishing an educational series that'll be part of a routine, mirroring the Skills4All series that the IIHF is providing here right now. We definitely want to provide that opportunity to the coaches that are in our game that are looking to take that next step to the professional level. You can expect that for the 2023-24 season that there'll be some of those opportunities in place, and we're excited about venturing out into that avenue. It's definitely a critical area for the female professional game, and we take that responsibility on our shoulders to be able to provide some of those networks for some of those up-and-coming female coaches to be in our league as well.
And a question popping up about the work around Isabella and the concept around your trophy and working with that trademark. I mean, the league and also Angelica talked about that women's hockey professional leagues, elite leagues are fairly new. They don't come in with the 100-year tradition, maybe as some of the major sports on the male side in that way. Do you have any experience sharing or any reflections on the culture work that you do as a league to create that interest around the competition? I mean, in women's hockey, the Olympics, World Championship, the national team competition is maybe sometimes what is glorified and what we work for. But now we work with leagues like the PHF, SDHL, creating this new environment where we want to have our athletes competing for other prestige competition and winnings. Have you worked anything specific with that within the PHF to create that culture and that urge to be the champs and to fight over that win of that trophy?
I think that's what sets us apart in North America right now with the PHF. It is that there's a trophy to play for at the end of the year, and you work as a team all season long to first of all qualify for playoffs through the regular season, and then also compete for that Isabel Cup. I think that's anybody that's in high performance sport, it doesn't have to be hockey, understands what that's all about. The journey that you take from training camp on through exhibition and regular season, and the heightened pressure and excitement around playoffs, and knowing that as a group of 20 or 25 players and team staff that you've gotten to this final opportunity together, and what that does. So that certainly comes naturally, and we understand it's important to provide that type of platform with our 24-game regular season schedule for each of our teams. Sorry, 1 second. Excuse me there. So that develops naturally for sure. And I think, the opportunity around the marketability of our games has definitely been something that's drawn a lot of excitement for our group. Our communications and media group are constantly monitoring the growth of our product on social media, and the numbers are honestly astounding. We've got a lot of engagements, especially through Tik Tok. I want to note that, but I think our following is continuing to grow at astronomical rates, and we're pretty excited about that. So I think as well as those on-ice rivalries grow, so too it grows as the social media content and the engagement that happens there fuels that fire. And I can certainly tell you on a week-by-week basis, the excitement around our games and the competitiveness is very exciting, and the fact that we get to play for a trophy at the end of the season is very meaningful. Boston Pride are our most loved and hated organization already because they're multiple-time champions, and everybody wants to knock them off. And so there's been a lot of excitement that's been established already. But we realize that our most exciting times are ahead of us, and we're excited to put the resources in place to continue to build and grow that fan base. And we're definitely trending very highly in the right direction, and but know that we haven't arrived yet.
A question maybe a little bit connected to that actually would be, we will show here in the end some really positive numbers of, coming out of COVID with the hockey and the recruitment of new players, and especially on the girls' side is looking very, very positive, and especially maybe in North American perspective. How do you see as a league and together with your clubs that you can work in national but maybe also in local environment, enriching also the youth, the junior and the upgrowing programs in the communities to be new players or new fans or new hockey lovers in that sense? Do you have any activities or any work that you do as a league or as teams are doing that you could share with this audience?
Yes, absolutely. I think all of our PHF initiatives and even our regular season games come with engagement within our local communities. After every PHF game, there are autograph signing opportunities where our young fans can meet our players in person and have those photo opportunities and those signatures. A lot of our teams incorporate a seventh skater concept and mini games in the intermissions between our games, where our local youth are there and sharing the experience at the ground level, being on the ice in front of the crowds that attend our games. Those are some of the key elements as well. You'll see, for example, in our upcoming All-Star weekend in January, there'll be a lot of community outreach done by the All-Star players that are invited to that weekend, whereby they'll be on the ice in clinics, and as well out in the local hockey associations within the area that our game is being hosted, where they're on the ice and on the bench at the house league and whatnot. We certainly appreciate the importance of being role models and leaders to the local communities and youth groups, and so it's definitely something that's invested in heavily by all of our teams, and as well by our league. We understand that importance, and as we try to grow our fan base, they need to know who we are. And there's a specific initiative around making sure that we give every opportunity possible for that to occur.
And staying on the topic of growth, do you have anything to share in thoughts or planning on the league's steps moving forward? Do you see possibilities with growth of games or number of teams, or where do you envision that you are moving towards right now as the PHF?
All of the above, I would say. We're excited to continue to add additional games to our schedule. We definitely plan on expanding to more markets. And quite frankly, there are lots of markets that are interested in joining. It's important, though, that this growth happens in a manner that is sustainable, and both by the local organization that becomes our 8th franchise or our 9th and 10th franchises, but also within the league. And so the opportunities there's no question. We're exploring all the time in terms of where we go next. There's definitely a lot of interest in where we can go next. We certainly invest a lot of time and research into making sure that whatever step we take next is something that is sustainable. But I can guarantee you that you'll see more teams in the PHF as soon as possible, whether that be next season or shortly thereafter. Our intent is to continue to grow the number of leagues in our team, the number of teams in our league, as well as the number of games that are being played.
So one of the benefits of being the last speaker out is that we have the opportunity to give you the last send-off. And what we would really like to see if you can share some of your experience for the ones watching here, being engaged in women's hockey on various levels in different countries, and really are passionate or growing the game and getting their population and their environment getting bigger. What would be maybe one of your key takeaways on the growth of women's hockey, regardless if it's in China, if it's in Malaysia, if it's in European, North American context? What do you see as the core thing to think about or to send along from your experience to be successful in that strive for growth of the women's hockey side?
Well, that's a great question. I would say all of us understanding that we're teammates in this, that all of us, whether we are the PHF, the SDHL, Frölunda, our national sport organizations, we're all teammates in the growth of women's hockey. And it's important for us to stay connected and motivate each other and inspire each other and share ideas and best practices so that our growth can occur worldwide. And so very appreciative of the IIHF for opportunities like this Skills4All series. This is a great example of how we can partner and be good teammates to grow our game. And so I think my takeaway send-off point would be that let's continue to work together and look for those opportunities to do so. It's not about one up so that we push someone else down to gain our next step. It's about growing together, and the PHF is excited to partner and be a part of that growth any way possible. And so excited to be here today and looking forward to future opportunities to engaging with this group in the future.
Lisa, the IIHF really are the ones that are super happy to have you here and talking about the work from the PHF and really the growth of women's hockey from a league perspective and representing your clubs as well. So from our side, thank you so much. We wish you all the best and best of luck in the continuous work here with the season.
Thank you very much.